Because if you keep sticking to the same old hashtag strategy and the same group of hashtags over and over again, you will keep seeing the same results. Hi YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. If you are a new subscriber or a new viewer, then hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Bella Foxwell. I'm an Instagram strategist and I drop a brand new YouTube video all about Instagram marketing every single Friday. If you are a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, then thank you so much for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. Today I am talking all about Instagram hashtags. Now, Instagram hashtags and how to use them is something that I talked about in a video at the end of last year, at the end of 2019. And in that video, it was split between talking about how best to research and use hashtags on your own content, as well as how to use hashtags as clues to find your target audience. So I really encourage you to go and check out that video because that is a really good base level of information and knowledge that will help you start to get to grips with how to research your hashtags and really how to use them to go and find your target audience. In today's video, I'm not talking about how to use hashtags to find your audience. I am just talking about my hashtag strategy in 2020 and really diving deep into how I use hashtags and what I've been doing and the tactics I've been using in 2020 to help grow my new Instagram account at Bella Foxwell, reach more people and get seen by more of my target audience. So feel free to use this as inspiration. It really has helped me get seen by more people. So I thought it was worth sharing with you in case you want to mix up your hashtag strategy as well. In fact, this is the hashtag strategy that has helped me get seen and reach more than double the number of followers I actually have. So at time of record, I've got about 450 followers on my new Instagram account at Bella Foxwell, and one of my recent posts got seen by more than 900 people. So that is incredible. If we're able to reach more people than we have following us, that is fantastic, because not only are we reaching the people that we already serve and we're already engaging with, but we are also getting in front of new people as well. So as I said, don't forget to check out the video that I just mentioned after this one. But first, let's talk about my strategy for 2020. Now, there's a few things I will cover first of all, just a few things to know before we delve deeper into the strategy. Now, first of all, I recommend using all 30 hashtags that you have available to post with every piece of content that you upload to Instagram. There are some different people and some things online which say using all 30 you get penalized for things like this. I've never been penalized for using the maximum amount of hashtags. And frankly, if you have the space to use all 30, then why not? That is my way of viewing it. That's what I think. So I use all 30. You want to make sure you are mixing up the hashtags that you use with every single post. Why? Because frankly, if you're not mixing up the hashtags that you're using, then how do you ever really know whether the hashtags you're using are working or not? You don't have anything to analyze or to learn or to grow from. And the whole point of strategy and analyzing what you're doing and tweaking and keeping track of things and looking at your metrics is so that you can get better and so that you can improve. And if you're doing the same thing over and over again, then there's no way of changing, there's no way of improving and growing. So you do want to mix up the hashtags that you're using. It's also good practice, and I'll dive deeper into this in this video, to mix up the hashtags that you're using so that you're using a mixture of hashtags that are related to what you do and that are related to what your target audience does and the hashtags that they use on Instagram. And it's also a good idea to mix up the volume of hashtags you're using. So I recommend mixing up your hashtags so that you have a combination of small volume hashtags, medium volume hashtags, with a few large volume or high volume hashtags thrown in there for good measure. Small volume hashtags are hashtags that have between 10 and 50,000 posts attributed to them. Medium volume hashtags are hashtags that have between 50 and 150,000 posts attributed to them. And high volume hashtags or large volume hashtags are hashtags that have 150,000 plus posts attributed to them. So those are the really popular hashtags that have anywhere between 150,000 posts and 2 million, 5 million, 7 million posts attributed to them. Now, these categorizations are my own categorizations. Whether you use an app, a tool, whether you follow different people or different publications like Iconosquare or Later or Preview, or you use apps like the Flick hashtag app, Each of those different places will have their own categorization for what are niche niche hashtags and which are popular hashtags, and how many posts that they attribute to those. Mine are, as I just said, the small, medium and large, and the numbers that I just said. Now, for me, that is crucial because really my focus on Instagram is going as niche as possible. So for me, everything above 150,000 posts attributed to a hashtag and plus, I consider that a high volume popular hashtag. So you can make of it what you will. You can, in your own mind, decide what you consider to be a really popular hashtag versus a smaller, more niche hashtag. But really, the biggest takeaway from this video is just making sure that you choose niche hashtags. The smaller, the better. Now, the reason that I'm really focusing in on smaller, niche hashtags is because the more popular the hashtag you use, i.e. hashtags that have hundreds of thousands of posts attributed to them, the more of those you use, the less likely your content will get seen and found by your target audience. Why? Because so much content, so much irrelevant content is being uploaded using that particular hashtag, those particular popular hashtags, that the likelihood that your content is going to get seen amongst all of that other content and seen by the right people is really, really slim. The chances of that are really, really low. So you want to improve your chances of being found by choosing less popular niche hashtags. So all of those hashtags like hashtag summer, hashtag love, hashtag follow for follow, hashtag peanut butter, those, you really want to be using those, a real minimum of those. The really popular hashtags, you want to include as few of those as possible in your collections of hashtags that you use alongside your content. So the next thing I've been doing is I have been including a mixture of hashtags with every post that correspond to what I do and also that I know my target audience is using. So for example, what I do is Instagram marketing. So I could have a few different hashtags related to this, like Instagram coach, Instagram tips, Instagram guru, Instagram advice, Instagram strategy. All of those kinds of hashtags are related to what I do. So that is one group of hashtags. That is half of the hashtags that I'll be using with a post. The other half of the hashtags that I'll be using alongside one of my posts will relate to my target audience and what they do and how they show up on Instagram. So my audience, broadly speaking, are female entrepreneurs. Now, hashtag female entrepreneur is an extremely popular high volume hashtag. So I might include that in my group of hashtags that I use, but I'll also make sure to include a combination of other smaller and medium volume hashtags that are related to my target audience. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm making sure to tick off what I do, and I'm also making sure to tick off what my target audience does and how they show up on Instagram, so that not only am I going to get found for what I do, but I'm also going to get found by my target audience, because my content is going to get shown up based on the way that they are using Instagram and the hashtags that they're using to show up with and to post content about. So how do I know what hashtags to use, and how do I actually start thinking about medium versus small versus high volume hashtags? Well, it all starts with research. So what I recommend doing is to make a table and first of all separate it by hashtag. So hashtags related to you and hashtags related or used by your target audience. And then separate it a level further by small, medium and large volume hashtags. So you've got it split out in that way, and then start researching and start with the hashtags that you know. So for example, when I'm looking at the side of my table that is with relation to the hashtags I use, I'm going to start with the hashtag Instagram marketing, and I will type that into the Instagram app. You don't need any tools for this. You can just use your Instagram app and your phone, which is, perfect. Start by typing that into Instagram, whatever hashtag is related to what you do, and then fall down a rabbit hole. See what other hashtags are suggested to you. Click on them. See whether the content that comes up that is associated with that hashtag does relate to what you do. It does correspond, it is relevant, because sometimes when you're doing this research, you might find a hashtag that you think could work for you, and actually you see that the content that's being posted with that hashtag is completely irrelevant. So you want to ignore that hashtag. But if that isn't the case, if you're finding great hashtags and you're seeing that the content being uploaded is relevant, add it to your list and make sure that you are not only finding popular hashtags like Instagram marketing, which has over 700,000 posts attributed to it, so it's a high volume hashtag, but so that you're also finding other hashtags that have the smaller and medium volume associated with them. So between 10 and 50,000 posts attributed and between 50 and 150,000. And add them into your table as you go. Every time you find a good one, add it to your table. And then do exactly the same thing with the hashtags related to your target audience. So I would start with hashtag female entrepreneur, a really, really popular one. And then I will fall down the rabbit hole on my Instagram app and keep going and keep adding ideas as I find relevant hashtags based on the different volumes that I have categorized, and I will add them into my table. Again, as I'm doing this research, I will do a quick sense check to make sure that the hashtags that I'm searching and the content that is associated with those hashtags does look like what I know to be true of my target audience. Again, there are some hashtags out there that you might think your target audience is using, but then when you have a look at the top most recent posts, and all the posts associated with that hashtag, you actually see that, hold on, this doesn't look like my target audience whatsoever. So you just want to ignore that hashtag. Another tip for finding hashtags, both for what you do and also your target audience, is to have a look at your competitors. So first of all, have a look at your competitors' content and see the hashtags that they use with their content. Are there any there that you could use and that you could click on and then again fall down that rabbit hole of research with? Have a look at the people engaging on your competitors' content. Have a look at the people actually commenting and click on one of those Instagram accounts and have a look at their content. And if they look like someone that looks like your ideal customer or client, have a look at the content, click on one of their hashtags, and again, fall down that rabbit hole. And any relevant hashtags you find, add them into your spreadsheet or your table. And before you know it, you will have a huge table of ideas and hashtags to use whenever you come to upload a new post. Now, there are no hard and fast rules when it comes to what percentage of hashtags you should upload per post that are related to you versus that are related to your target audience. I would just really recommend trying and testing this and playing around with it. So with one post, you might upload a 50-50 split between hashtags that are related to you and hashtags that are related to your target audience. On another post, you might upload 20% of the hashtags related to you and 80% of the hashtags related to your target audience. It really depends on A, what the content of the post is, and B, whether you're trying and testing a bit more related to you with that post, a bit less related, you will know. But I just recommend playing around and seeing what happens, seeing what works, seeing what split gets you seen and found by more of the right people. Again, when it comes to your split between how many small volume hashtags should I have versus medium volume hashtags versus high volume hashtags, again, play around with it. On one post, you might have a split of, if you have 30 hashtags with that post, 20 of them might be small volume, 5 might be medium volume, and 5 might be high volume. On another post, you might have 15 that are medium volume, and 10 that are small volume, and 5 that are high volume. Just mix it up. Just keep trying and testing. The only thing that I would say is that you really want to keep those high volume hashtags to a minimum. So if you want me to recommend a rule, I would say stick to 5 high volume hashtags at the most. Because, as I said, it's really hard to rank for high volume hashtags, particularly if they are 500,000 posts attributed to them and above. If you are using high volume hashtags that have, around 150,000 posts attributed to them, 200,000 posts attributed to them, then maybe I would say you can use a few more than 5. But as I said, the nicher the better with hashtags. So as much as you can, just try to go with the smaller and the medium volume hashtags as much as you can. The beauty really is in the experimentation and then keeping a track of your individual post insights so that you can understand which hashtags are working best for you and which aren't, and maybe which combination worked really well for you versus which didn't. But do keep a track of them so you know what's working and what isn't. Because if you keep sticking to the same old hashtag strategy and the same group of hashtags over and over again, you will keep seeing the same results. And that means you're never going to change or progress or develop, and that is not what we want here. We want you to change things up and to start seeing even better results than you're already seeing. So go, experiment, do the research, fall down the hashtag rabbit hole, and then let me know how you get on. Share screenshots of your results. I would love to see your individual insights on a post level to see how your new combination of hashtags have helped you reach more people. I'm really excited for you. So go, research, and have fun. That's all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell button so you are notified when a brand new video goes live every single Friday. If you enjoyed this video, I have dropped a bunch of other videos like this in the description box below, as well as a link to not only my free 4-day email challenge, but also my new offer, my new product, which is a 3-month Instagram content calendar complete with caption templates, an ideas bank, and also a whole load of Instagram story prompts and main feed content prompts, so you can start creating an ongoing, consistent Instagram content calendar and schedule from right now. So no more guessing, and it helps get that consistency and that engagement going from right now. So see you next week for a brand new video, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.